Patrick, a couple of important topics that came up during community calls this month that I wanted to highlight during this podcast. The first was the first community call of the month, and that was on the most recent refresh of the Odyssey standardized vocabularies. Another terrific effort by the vocabulary team. You can see that full presentation here in this newsletter. Just talk about basically what the team did and the importance of their work.
Yeah, I'm really proud of how our Odyssey vocabulary team has continued to deliver on the roadmap that we've established as a community. The February 2025 release is another example of us as a community defining a scope of work to refresh specific vocabularies, add community contributions, and to continue to have this foundational resource for our community made available, accessible, and up to date and delivered as we've committed to. So Oleg and Vlad and Anna and the entire Masha and the entire vocabulary team has done a really great job of telling us what we could plan for, get us ready for the delivery of that vocabulary, and then showing us really why it'd be valuable. And what we've seen over the course of our community is that the vocabulary is being downloaded, thousands of times across the broader community, and yet as a Odyssey evidence network, we're seeing that not all data sources are keeping up to date. But what we've learned from a lot of our research is it's really critically important that everybody be aligned to a common vocabulary and to take advantage of the latest advances in these resources. So really want to encourage everybody who's out there with data converted to the OMOP Common Data Model to take advantage of this up-to-date vocabulary resource as part of their data standardization efforts.
It's fitting you bring up the evidence network. March, we really talked a lot about data. We had a terrific call on the 18th that focused on both the evidence network and the data diagnostics tool and how it can impact these guideline-driven evidence studies that are going on in our community. Can you just kind of talk about both what the evidence network is doing, the great updates about it, and then its impact in these studies?
Yeah, we had declared March to be our March to Data Fitness, and a big part of that was to showcase the opportunity we have as a community to establish the Odyssey Evidence Network as the resource to connect researchers with important questions to data sources that could potentially be appropriate to answer those questions. And so appreciated that Claire Blackadder walked through the current progress of the Odyssey Evidence Network, showcased what it means for organizations to get involved, how they can provide a database profile that provides summary statistics about their data, and by contributing that to the Coordinating Center, provides them the opportunity to be matched with data sources that make sense. Claire also went through database diagnostics as a tool to take potential research questions to determine which data sources in the Odyssey Evidence Network could actually be used to answer the question. And so as we continue to move forward with our guideline-driven evidence studies, this is a great opportunity for all of those study leads to think about how to frame their question in terms of the basic data requirements that those studies have, in terms of what is the exposure, the indication, the outcome, the requirements of longitudinality across a study time. And Claire highlighted that our database diagnostics tool is a really efficient way for us to get insights about which data sources could participate in a study and which ones have the required elements. And so it's exciting to see our current Odyssey Evidence Network in play to identify data sources to participate in these studies, but I also hope this will be even further incentive for other organizations to join the Odyssey Evidence Network by sharing their database profile with the community.
I've been inspired by the push within our community being led currently by Christian Reich and Sarah Seeger to, build the second version of the Book of Odyssey. There have been weekly meetings going on, and there's still time to be a contributor. So this is all happening within the education work group. You can use that in the on the work groups page. Join the education work group. You can join any work group. They're all active at the time, but specifically the Book of Odyssey. There's been weekly meetings going on. It's really exciting. There's a lot of energy happening right now in terms of trying to produce a second edition of this book. So it's been very exciting. We have some terrific community calls, a lot of tutorials in April that are going to help continue to push forward these guideline-driven studies. So a lot to look forward to coming up here over the next month. Thanks for joining, Patrick.
Thank you, Craig. Science